Thank you for joining us tonight. My name is Robin Kaler. I'm the Associate Chancellor for Public Affairs at the University of Illinois. We are here tonight to talk about reward in the search for Yingying Zhang. I want to introduce a few people who are going to be speaking tonight. First, Brad Ware from the Public Information Officer for the FBI is with us. Tony Brown, the Deputy Chief of UIPD, is here with us, but again, we will not be answering questions about the investigation, just to be clear. Pat Wade, the Communications Director from the University of Illinois Police, and I want to especially thank the family of Yingying for being here tonight to support us in supporting this effort. And Anna Tsai, who is our liaison for the Office of Student Affairs, and has been assisting in translating for the family as well. I want to thank, before we get started, I want to thank the U of I Community Credit Union and E.J. Donahue for working very quickly on helping us set up the fund that now has enough money to be able to create this reward. I want to really thank the Chinese Students and Scholars Association. They have been amazing. We are a very tight-knit family at the University of Illinois. I've never seen a family as tight-knit as our Chinese Students and Scholars Association, though. They've been wonderful and so supportive of all of us through this really difficult time. We are very grateful for the Illinois State Police and for the Federal Bureau of Investigations and all they have done to help us in the search for Yingying. And tonight we're here again to talk about a reward in the case. And the person who's going to tell us about that is John Hecker, who is the president of Champaign County Crime Stoppers. So John, could you please come and join me?
Thank you, Robin. My name is John Hecker, she related, and I currently serve as president of Champaign County Crime Stoppers. And we are very pleased to be involved with the reward that's being offered. Obviously, a very heinous case, and we certainly hope and pray for Yingying's safe return. And I want all the Chinese students, scholars, members of the audience here to be fully aware of that. That is our sole goal in this whole process. What we have done through the family have established a reward fund of up to $40,000 that will be paid for information that leads to the arrest of anyone involved with the with the involvement of this crime. There are different means for information to be conveyed to Crime Stoppers. It can be done through our phone line 373-TIPS, of course area code 217, online via our website 373tips.com, or through a mobile app which can be downloaded, P3 mobile app, can be downloaded that individuals can convey information at any of those three vehicles. We guarantee anonymity with regard to this. So anyone that is providing information, be it through our P3, be it through our website, be it through the phone line, there's no way that we can trace the individual that's making the call or ever know his or her identity. So we want to make that perfectly clear. If information comes in that leads to a bona fide arrest based upon probable cause, then the informant will become a candidate for a cash reward of up to $40,000. We will be working closely with the family as far as a payment that would be made with respect to tips that come in. But this, I should also point out, is the largest reward that Crime Stoppers has ever granted since our inception, and we've been in business, if you will, for over 30 years. So I think that also underscores the importance of how we look upon this particular case. With that, I think we'll conclude my remarks. There are obviously others that will be speaking and will be available for questions thereafter.
Thank you, John. Now I'd like to ask Brad Ware from the FBI to come up and explain. I know you've probably heard there's a $10,000 reward as well. To the media, it's really important that you not say there's a $50,000 reward. There are two different rewards, different rules. One is $40,000, one is $10,000. And so Brad's going to explain to you the difference in the two.
Yes, on Saturday we secured approval for that $10,000 reward, up to $10,000 for the location or whereabouts of Yingying. So it's really important for the community to come together, as you all have here, and submit any type of tips possible, either to the FBI, and our tip line for that is 1-800-CALL-FBI, and then also online it's called tips, FBItips.gov. So, or it's tipsfbi.gov, which is on the poster. Most of you have seen the poster. We are broadcasting it on the FBI Springfield webpage, on Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitter. So there's a lot of media sources that we've been supplementing that information. So there's two different rewards, so they're not combined.
Thank you for that clarification. Okay, now I'll ask John to come back up with me, and we can answer any questions that you have. And if members of the audience have questions, if you can wait until the media get the ones that they need first, we'd appreciate it, because they're all on deadline.
Okay, if there are any questions, you're open for the meeting. Yeah.
The money that's being offered through Crime Stoppers and the family, is any of that coming from the GoFundMe campaign that was announced?
Yes, yes, a large portion, right, will be coming through that. And this has been facilitated through the U of I Credit Union. They've been very helpful in this because we've been trying to expedite things. Obviously, time is of the essence with regard to this case. And there's some legal documentation we're still working on, but we've got to go through the credit union to go forward with this. But yes, the vast majority has come through the GoFundMe account.
So what would be most correct in talking about who is offering the reward? Is it Crime Stoppers or the family? Or?
Excuse me, Crime Stoppers is serving as the facilitator for this. The money was not raised by Crime Stoppers, and it is not coming out of Crime Stoppers funds that we have. We have a separate account that we pay rewards through for, but this has come through the family via this GoFundMe account. Right, so it is separate from our accounts that we have, Crime Stoppers as a whole.
So I just wanted to clarify, so the GoFundMe, is that supporting the family at all during their stay here while they're searching for it, or no?
That,
Yeah, so the university has provided apartments for the family to stay in, but the family, and the Chinese Students and Scholars Association has put together a plan to provide some home-cooked meals for the family. But no, the family has been very clear they want the money raised to go to help find Yingying.
And just, sorry, another question.
That's
when you
fine.
said Champaign County Crime Stoppers, this is the largest reward you've all have ever
right.
seen.
We've been in inception for 31 years now, and this is the largest reward. There was a period of time that we were limited. We could only make a reward payment of up to $1,000. And this was really in compliance with the Internal Revenue Service regulation. But that regulation has been amended and altered such that there's not a limit, upper limit.
And maybe this is more of a question for Mr. Ware, but the reward money that you are facilitating can go to someone who stays anonymous.
Most definitely. I mean, it's not can, it will. We only operate on anonymity. We do not want to know, and if individuals start providing names, we channel them through the state's attorney's office or whatever, local law enforcement agency. We operate solely on anonymity.
And so are the conditions different for the $10,000 reward that the FBI is offering?
Yes, they are. Correct me if I'm wrong, Brad, but you're not operating on anonymity, right? They need to know who the recipient is. The tipster, in essence, we do not. We do not want to know.
So you have a system set up so that you can give money to someone who gives you information, and you will never know who they are.
That is 100% correct. And I want to make sure that everyone is fully cognizant of that. That we have no way of knowing or tracing who is conveying information via our P3 mobile app, be it our website, be it our phone line. We've gone to great lengths to assure that.
In the case of the FBI reward, while they have to know who the person is there any arrangement where the name has to be made public, or could it be kept private?
Brad, can you come help us with that?
While I'm walking over there, thank you. Are you talking about the, whoever the tipster is?
Yes.
That's a legal question. I think from the standpoint of when we're conducting an investigation, that person, that individual would become a witness and may be called to testify. So sometimes that may be needed to come out. And that's one of the big differences between Crime Stoppers and us conducting an investigation.
So you can't make any promises, is what?
As far as the,
As
being
far as-
confidential to who the tipster is?
Yeah.
Well, up to the point of, once prosecution starts, it's going to be up to the U.S. Attorney's Office and the State's Attorney's Office. They'll make those decisions. We're doing the investigation.
Mhm.
Did that answer your question, sir?
Yes, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Right, just to underscore what I've already said, basically, we do not want to know, we never will know who our informant is. So, I mean, and that's true for all of our cases, not just this case, but that's the way Crime Stoppers operates, is the guarantee of anonymity. So that is a very focal point, very important point of our whole operation. And also, again, just a distinction from a lot of other reward funds, we pay based upon arrest, not arrest and conviction. So there can be a great deal of difference between the, particularly time difference. So our payments are much more timely because we pay on, based upon a bona fide, legally supported arrest.
Any other question? Yes, sir.
Just my question is, not that what I just want. I just want to know if policeman, if just a code, if you just check or save the video from gas stations. So we want to know, that's just the only way we can find suspect's appearance. But no, without just the suspect's appearance, we cannot make clear. So I think suspect, when suspect come here, they should pump gas. So in the gas station, suspect should be very clear, just watch it.
Tony, do you again, not about specifically about the investigation, but just how that works with video at different locations?
Yeah, I don't want to get into specifics on the investigation, but we are following through with all the leads, and we do, part of the process is canvassing for videos and video cameras from a number of businesses throughout this community.
From morning or maybe to afternoon PM, something like that, if you can save that video, we can make clear to read that video. A lot of volunteers want to make clear, just to check video, I think in that video, suspect is stationary, so we can find their images. If we know the appearance of suspect, we can make clear.
Yeah, we do have a full team of people reviewing video, and that's, they've been doing that almost exclusively. Some of the team has done that exclusively for the last week. So.
Well, we understand your frustration and we share it. Thank you so much for your passion for her.
John made reference to a person responsible. Are you working under that assumption at this point?
Yeah, and I purely, as a novice to this case, made that. So I have no information. I do not know. So, and if I led you to believe that, that's my fault. So let me just.
Can you comment at all on that?
No.
Yeah, right. I'm sorry. That was just a scenario that I, in essence, played out. But I have no information in this case or knowledge. Yeah. Thank you for clarifying that. Yeah.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
So who will make the judge that this tip is useful or not?
Not necessarily a tape, but you mean a tip?
The tip.
A tip, okay.
Yeah.
Can you tell how that works?
As tips come in, as I said, the way we operate, regardless, it's going to be not just this particular case, but any case, as tips come in, they then are conveyed to the appropriate law enforcement agencies. So if it's involved with something that happened in Champaign, that would go to the Champaign Police Department. If it's involved in Rantoul, that would go to the Rantoul Police Department. Wherever the case may be at the University of Illinois, obviously with this case, University of Illinois Police Department. Then they go take it from there as far as the investigation and whether it provides enough information to lead to arrest. Usually it's coupled with obviously other pieces of information that may have come in, but that's totally up to law enforcement as far as how the information is used, the helpfulness of that information, and then whether they can, with that, marshal up enough evidence to meet the probable cause threshold for a legally upstanding arrest.
Can you describe then how Crime Stoppers decides from the poll?
Right. So the way we operate, we have a civilian board, which means we have no law enforcement that serve as members of our board of directors. And I realize this may be a unique concept, particularly for a lot of our Asian students, but it's governed by a board of directors, again, all civilians. We meet on a monthly basis, so if information, let's do a hypothetical, would come in tomorrow or this week, our next monthly board meeting is a week from Thursday. We meet the final Thursday of every month. If, let's say, information came in from Crime Stoppers, via Crime Stoppers, and it actually did lead to an arrest, then this case would be presented at our board meeting by our law enforcement coordinator, who would be conveying all the information. We got this information from this tipster. It led to an arrest that was made. The person currently is in jail, or whatever the case might be. And then we have to determine the amount of the reward. This case is very unique because we're going to really make this determination in conjunction with the family. Our normal situation is that our board makes that determination based upon many things: the helpfulness of the information, the severity of the crime, whether we feel, even though we don't know who the informant was, whether we feel he or she might have put himself or herself in any sort of jeopardy by coming forth with that. We weigh a number of different things and then determine on a dollar amount. Then the next question you might have is, well, how's that dispersed? We do it in a very public location where no names are written down. There's really no discourse. When individuals first contact us, of course your question is, well then how do you give them the money or how do you make the payment? Well, their moniker, their name becomes a number. So let's say I were to call with information about this case. And from my very first call, I would be given a number, 1, 2, 3, 4, and told in all subsequent contacts with crime, and I'm told to call back on a weekly basis. So I would be calling back, and let's say the information did lead to an arrest, then we would tell them that they would be brought before the board at its next monthly meeting. And they would normally be told to call the day after the monthly meeting to find out, number one, if a reward was granted, and number two, the actual monetary amount. So in this case, let's say the information did lead to an arrest, we have our monthly meeting, and then the very next day, it would be, assuming the informant does contact us, we would relate, yes, you are eligible for reward, and let's say in this case it turned out to be $40,000. It's $40,000. And then the actual payment of that reward, as I said, takes place in a scenario so that we do not, again, know who the informant is. Nothing's written, nothing's recorded. And we've been doing this now for over 30 years, and we've really never had any problems whatsoever. So that's kind of the nuts and bolts of how the system operates.
I'm going to clarify. All the money for this new reward comes from the GoFundMe account, or are there other sources?
No, that's correct. Okay. That is correct, yeah.
How many tips have come in so far for this case?
I do not know. I'm sorry.
Hundreds? Hundreds.
Okay.
Hundreds, okay.
Yeah, but if you're acting specifically through Crime Stoppers, I don't know. Obviously, Crime Stoppers one vehicle, and then we got the local law enforcement agencies or another vehicle, individuals that contact them, so that I don't know. As far as Crime Stoppers, I'm mainly here for them.
And, sorry, and what kind of details are you all looking for when they're submitting tips? What are you?
Well, I'm not law enforcement, so, but obviously things that will be helpful in this with identifying if there is someone involved. Obviously we have a vehicle, we know someone had to be driving that vehicle, who that person is, the location of the vehicle, the location of Yingying, anything that might lead us to find her whereabouts. I think that is the, correct me if I'm wrong, we've got a law enforcement here, I'm not law enforcement, I'm a civilian, but basically information of that nature that will be helpful in locating Yingying.
Any other questions? Thank you so much. Oh, yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry, if I have a question that if the tips do not lead to any arrest, but lead to the finding we do not catch any criminal, should the man who gives tips get money?
Correct me if I'm wrong, I think what you're saying is if I may be wrong on this, so correct me, please. If the information does not lead to arrest, but to the location of Yingying, is that what you're saying? Yeah, so let's say we're told to go to 503 North Maple Street in Urbana and go in the basement, and Yingying is there. And actually, we've had a case very similar to that happen. Yes, we would make payment based upon that, yes. So in that case, the recovery of the object of the crime, in this case it happens to be a human being. In many of our cases, we also say recovery of stolen property, because lots of times that's what we're talking about. But the object of this crime is a human being as far as the victim. So in that case, even though we might not have made an arrest, there has been a recovery of the object of this crime, and that would meet with our requirements. So we would make a monetary payment.
In that case, if the person stays anonymous, how can you guarantee the person who led you to Yingying is not the person who's responsible, and essentially you'd be paying a ransom at that point?
I can't. I can't. I'm sorry. I hope that never happened. This is a very unique case for us. It's a case really of first impression. We felt in our discussions, particularly with the family, and cognizant of their desires in locating her, that it'd be worth it to find her. And if we have to, you're right, Tim, you're right. I mean, I can't argue with you. But you're talking about a human being in their life, and are we going to put a price tag on it? That's a judgment call that's been rendered. But you're right. Unfortunately, you're 100% correct.
It's just essentially how the Crime Stopper system works.
That's exactly right. Yeah. You're right.
And again, our goal is to find her and bring her home safely. There's no other more important thing than that right now. Any other questions?
I do actually. Are Crime Stopper rewards like this and FBI rewards typically successful? Do you find success rates with this?
Well, I don't only speak with regard to Crime Stoppers. Brad certainly could, FBI. This is unique, the magnitude of this reward. Like I said, we've never done this before, so I can't speak from that perspective. We have had very good success with information that's come in as far as resolving crimes. So information is very helpful and has been highly productive as far as arrest and recovery of stolen property.
Like how successful, more so than not, or?
Well, I'm sorry, I don't have obviously statistics with me right now, but we've had a very good success rate. We're at our monthly board meetings, we're probably averaging about 5 to 6 cases that have come in each month, and for a volunteer group, that's I think pretty good. Again, I didn't maybe mention this. We're totally volunteers. We have no paid staff. We don't own any sort of office or anything like that. And so we want to make sure that over 95 cents that comes into our reward fund stays there and not for other expenses.
So has there ever in the past, have you dealt with cases like this before? I mean, with the FBI question, the director towards the FBI too, here in Champaign, have you dealt with missing persons cases?
We've dealt with missing persons cases, yes, but we've never offered a warrant of this magnitude, nor a case quite this high profile, I think I can say. But we have dealt with missing persons cases.
And what classifies it as high profile, if you could just state that for us?
Well, I think we've got a student here at the University of Illinois that, scholar, I guess I should say, that has been over here from China for a very short period of time. We have such a large Asian population here, and it's a very important component of the university and this community. And so a lot of people really aren't aware of that, and we certainly are. And I think this makes it and just the nature of this, the individual young lady being apprehended, days go by, not knowing anything what has transpired, her family living in China now, her father's here. There are a number of very unique dynamics or twists or turns to this that differentiate this case from others. I don't want to lessen any other missing person case. I don't mean that, but this falls in a little different category than others that we've addressed.
Thank you.
Just for clarification, so I'm wondering, like, for this 40K rewards, is it like if there's 3 people provide tips, so each of them will get the reward? Or is like...
You're asking a good question, yeah.
Yeah.
We confront this. It could happen. We have had cases where we've had multiple leads, if you will, that turned out to be productive.
Yeah.
And we don't have a hard, fast rule on we handle it. Normally we'll look at the helpfulness of the information. Let's say we got 3.
Okay.
And they were good, but one stood out head and shoulders above the others. Then we might split up the reward, but we would give more to the one that was the greater help than the others. So we've really become somewhat of a judgment call based upon the helpfulness of the information and the quality of the information.
Okay, so instead of 40K rewards, it's actually up to 40K rewards?
Right, yeah, right. The 40,000, we will not be giving away more than $40,000, right. So, I mean, that could be, are you saying, could that be split up? The answer is yes. Let's say we could have 10, 10, and 20. That's possible.
Is there any possibility that we might increase the rewards if the urgency has gone up even more?
I mean, yes, we would need to sit down with the family.
Okay.
And go through this again. Obviously, we're not going to do any adjustment without their concurrence and their consent.
Okay, so like there is the possibility, you don't deny it, but we'll still like do more negotiation regarding this, right?
As far as the amount, yes.
Okay.
I think it's important to note, though, if somebody's sitting around thinking, I'm going to wait until the reward goes up, you know, bad idea, because Crime Stoppers works, and we will get tips. And I am very confident we will solve this quickly. So if you're out there and you have information, give it to us now. Give it to us now. Any other questions? Thank you again for coming, and thank you everybody for supporting the family. Appreciate it.
Interesting day.